What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J-Main back checking in with the people. And today I wanted to do a video talking about the PS4 Pro and how Sony feels it is a necessary evolution in the console space. They also made some comments about single player games and the demand for those games in today's market. So, the PS4 Pro. Is it a necessary evolution in the console space? In my opinion, it is. In the article, which I'll have the link for in the description, they talk about how it gives people a more immersive experience that also complements the advancements in the TV technology. Now, while true, I feel like the PS4 Pro could have done a much better job with giving us a more immersive experience, especially when it comes to complementing the next gen televisions. Now, as we know, we're in the 4K age. The PS4 Pro barely runs modern games at 4K. Now, me personally, I would have loved to see Sony and even Microsoft use the power that they had implemented into these midlife upgrades into being able to play these games at higher frame rates. Now, I know it's hard to market frame rate. You know, when it comes to people buying new hardware, new consoles, well, most of the easiest way to show them that, oh, this is better is to say, okay, this game runs at 1080p on this system, it runs at 4K on this system. Oh, what does 4K look like? Let me turn on the TV, plug it up, boom, I can show you. It's that easy. When it comes to frame rate, that's all about the gameplay. So unless they have controller in hand and they're experiencing the game, it's going to be hard for them for the average person to be able to tell the difference between a 30 and a 60 frame per second game. Me, not hard at all. I can immediately tell just by looking at something whether it's 30 or 60, and if I'm playing it, it's much easier. So being that they feel like these consoles are a necessary evolution, I want them to give us more options on the console end. Now, the developers have been doing a decent job. They could be doing a better job at giving us options, you know. Certain games have resolution modes. Certain games have performance modes where you can prioritize whether you want the game to run at 4K, 1440p, or you want the game to run at 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second. I want them to be able to open that up more and make that a standard, because I know when these consoles were rumored, there were documents coming out that talked about how these games had a standard that they had to run at this, that, and it can't be different from the previous console. You know, everything had to work in unison. So I want the next generation, even on the base, like the standard consoles, to have that standard of being able to run these games at either a resolution mode or a performance mode, or even going more in depth than that and being more like the PC where you can tweak a whole bunch of different settings. You know what I mean? So, like I said, being that they feel like these consoles are going to be necessary, I want them to give us more options in these mid-life cycle upgrades. Now, I feel like the Xbox One X is a much better upgrade than the PS4 Pro. Microsoft, I felt like, did more. They also charged more, but they did more, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna tell me that this is a, you know, a more powerful version of what I already had, then make it something where I'm like, okay, damn, I wasn't expecting y'all to go that far, but I'm happy that y'all did. You know what I mean? Because the Xbox One X being $500, I'm not entirely upset that it was $500. I feel like they could have really knocked it out the park at it being $400, but it is running some of the best games on the market at 4K. Look at Red Dead Redemption. That runs at 4K on Xbox One X. It runs at, I don't even know, like half 4K, whatever the resolution is, something crazy on PS4 Pro. And many people are saying you can tell the difference when you play the two. Might not be a huge difference, but you can tell the difference and you know which one is better. You get more bang for your buck, obviously. So that is like how I feel with these next gen consoles and the midlife refreshes, is that I'm okay with them being there. I just want them to make sure that these are going to be worthy upgrades. Because I'm gonna be honest, like the PS4 Pro, I got that because that's the only place that I can play PS4 games at a better resolution. You know what I mean? If I had the choice and Xbox and PS4 could play the same games and I was looking to upgrade, I would have easily went with the Xbox One X. Not even a choice. You know what I mean? Not even a thought for me. You know what I mean? That's a better system. It costs more, but it's a better system. And that's what I would want if I'm upgrading. So I hope they bring these back next generation. I think they will. Sony talked about how they found that 1 in every 5 PS4 sold is a PS4 Pro since it launched. About 40% of these have been existing players upgrading. So that would mean 60% are people who are brand new to PS4 and they're getting the PS4 Pro. So that also shocked me a little bit too, is that when it comes to people buying specifically the PS4 Pro, the majority of them are new PS4 owners. So I thought that the majority of people buying the PS4 Pro would be the people upgrading to the PS4 Pro, not people who are new to it, because I feel like the people who care about the PS4 Pro already have a PS4. But when you look at the whole boom of 4K this year and previous years leading up to you know, this article, 4K is getting bigger and bigger. When they're marketing these things together, they say, okay, you're buying a 4K TV, you're looking to get a game system for it, you like PS4 games, PS4 Pro is going to make these games look the best on that 4K TV. So when you look at it that way, it makes sense. It makes sense why people are getting a PS4 Pro as their first system, especially when they're buying all these, you know, 4K TVs on the market now. So that's good to hear. They seem to be pleased with the results of the PS4 Pro, which means we probably are going to see these midlife upgrades next generation. That's good to me. So moving on to the second topic of the video is single player games and the demand for those games. So they talk about how 2018 was a big year, of course, for Fortnite, one of the biggest games of all time. And it just so happens that the biggest portion of this game is the multiplayer, the battle royale. People forget that Fortnite does have a single player. I think you can play co-op with friends, but it's more of save the world type of mode. You know what I mean? Defense type of building and things like that. It's not really last man standing multiplayer crazy frenzy like that. So, but the battle royale is the biggest portion, and that's the multiplayer. But within all of that, you get great exclusives from PlayStation, like a God of War, like a Spider-Man, like a Detroit, and even the Astrobot, which are all single player games that all, you know, reviewed really well, sold really well. God of War won a bunch of awards recently, including the Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Spider-Man is a great game. Detroit is a great game. Astrobot, I'm hearing, is one of the best VR titles. So when Sony is looking at the market, they see that it's dominated a lot when it comes to multiplayer by these games as a service, Fortnite, stuff like that. But they also look at it as that leaves a big lane for people who are starving for single player games for them to tap into. And that's what I feel, you know, they do best at. Now, in my opinion, I do want to see Sony get into maybe 1 or 2 exclusive multiplayer games. I would love for them to bring back a Resistance. Killzone Shadowfall wasn't my favorite, but I feel if they wanted to bring it back and do it right, that could be even a game that they can get back into. Or coming up with a new IP that's multiplayer based, you know what I mean? I want them to see them try at least 1 or 2 that's focused solely on multiplayer. Games like Uncharted, Last of Us, those have multiplayers, but we all know that's not the main focus of those games. So I don't want them to get too crazy because, like I said, the market is dominated by certain games. You got your Call of Duties, you got your Battlefields, you got your Fortnites now, you got PUBG, all these battle royale games coming out. So maybe get 1 or 2 games in there maybe, but stick with those single player games, especially moving forward to next gen, because we're going to have all these sequels with God of War 2, probably Spider-Man 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and things like that. So the demand is there. The games are, I'm assuming the sequels are going to be there. So I'm hoping Sony continues with that. They seem like they're going to, with them saying that the demand is there. And I think we're all are excited about that. So maybe one or two multiplayer games. PlayStation, give us that. But other than that, keep doing what you're doing. Bring that PS5 Pro whenever y'all do it. Actually, I wouldn't even be surprised, or I wouldn't even be mad if they did at launch had 2 options right out the gate. I wouldn't be mad at that. I don't know how that is business wise, how cost effective that is, but if they did do something like that, I would be excited for something like that too. So however they want to do it, just bring it on. Bring on the single player games. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this video. Do you guys care for the mid-gen refreshes? Are you guys PS4 Pro upgrades? Are you guys still on the base models? And as far as the single player game demand goes, do you want to see Sony tap into the multiplayer games at all, or do you want to just see them continue to make single player games only and leave the multiplayer games to the people that are already making them? Rate the video, of course. Get in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.